I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBM, we're stepping into the dark world of horror with an amazing book. It is called Twisted Tales from the Insensitive and Insane by W. Vought. This disturbing collection of short stories is unapologetically raw, void of political correctness, and brimming with spiders, vampires, psychopaths, and worse. For fans of the darkest side of horror, it's a wild ride that not only scares you, but also reveals the unsettling weaknesses of humanity itself. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Bill, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you.
You've been a writer basically your whole life. This collection of spooky, creepy, scary stories is quite unique. Are these stories you've collected over the years and compiled them into the book, or books or stories that you wrote expressly for this book?
Some of them were written for the book. Others were rough draft screenplays or treatments I had. One of them was way back in college that I had to rewrite, of course. But
Right.
so yes, over the years.
It's great. The ideas that you had in college are no less profound or good than the ones you have in middle age or beyond. Sometimes your first ideas are your best ideas, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
found that.
yeah,
In
without a doubt.
fact, most of well, the movie When Trumpets Fade, I had thought about that way back in like my second year of college and
Wow.
started playing with it a little bit. I was going to write something on the Battle of the Bulge. And as I was researching, the Hurtgen Forest kept coming up, and I had never heard of it. And all the references where this division was sent here after being mauled in the Hurtgen Forest, and books that were written on it were called like Follow Me and Die, Blooded Ground. And I thought, oh God, there's got to be something here.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, you tapped into gold when you tapped into that. And for the folks at home who haven't heard about Bill's work, it's a wonderful work. It's called When Trumpets Fade. It was picked up by HBO back in around 1998 and turned into a first-class film with a top cast. So if you haven't watched it yet, you should watch it. And like Bill said, his inspiration was from his college days, and I think that's wonderful. Is there a story within this book, Twisted Tales, that is one of your favorites?
um, yeah, I have one. It's one of the darker ones. It's called Below the Nam, and it is about the tunnels that were in Vietnam that Americans, so the smallest guy in a unit of Americans would have to crawl into these tunnels and root out the enemy. And it was just, you couldn't even crawl. You had to slither because they were like 2 by 2 feet. And there was booby traps, snakes, anything you can think of was down there. It was a nightmare. And so that one is one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you envisioned these stories being turned into a series, perhaps? I mean, The Dark Mirror is really popular. There's a lot out there. Talk to us a little bit about your ambitions or goals there.
Yeah, I'd like to see this as an anthology, especially not a network anthology, but where you can get away with being darker.
Mm.
And so it would be fun to see these on film.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
The streamers have become a real great place for media that would not otherwise be produced to be produced. Like you said, the networks have this criteria that is somewhat formulaic and somewhat bland, but the streamers now embrace horror, they embrace sci-fi, they embrace fantasy, and it's opened up a
Yeah.
whole lot of different genres for people, right?
Yes, definitely. You mentioned the Mirror series,
Yeah, Black
and
Mirror. Yep.
yeah, and that is a fun one. That gets
Yeah,
pretty dark. That gets pretty
exactly.
dark. But
Exactly.
yeah, it gives you the ability to tell a story any way you want. Whereas, well, in the Hollywood industry, whether you're doing television or film, it's a collaborative art form, which is good in one way, but restrictive in if you have a view of something.
Mhm.
Uh, a lot of times it gets smothered out for sometimes good reasons, sometimes bad. But writing these, I write them any way I want.
Yeah,
And there's a
exactly.
freedom to that. So,
Exactly. And you describe the books as being void of political correctness. Why was that important to you?
um, because I think a lot of, I love horror short stories. I always have. But it just seems to me that a lot of them, for me, a lot of them weren't scary enough, weren't dark enough. And I thought, well, if that's the way I feel about it, I'm sure there's other people that feel the same way. So I thought, okay, why don't I try writing some short stories that are darker?
Mm.
And I took a stab at it, and when I read them through, it was like, wow, these are pretty creepy, and and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They are fun stories and they're very diverse stories as well. Um, your career in Hollywood is quite impressive. We mentioned When Trumpets Fade, picked up by HBO, but you've worked with, Steven Spielberg and Scorsese and, Stephen Baccio, a bunch of other big names in the business. Tell us a little bit about your writing career in Hollywood.
I did a lot of well, first when I worked for Stephen Bochco, it was for a television series. It was called City of Angels, and it was a hospital in LA. And I was with them for about a year, and then after that, I ended up getting to shoot an original pilot called Sam Circus, and it was a World War II show. Kind of, I was a big Vic Morrow fan when I was a kid in combat, so it was kind of that kind of show. But if they would have done the show all the way, if you would have watched it from the beginning, from the pilot to the end of the first season, you would have realized, my God, there's nobody left from the pilot. And
Mm.
that was the whole idea of the series is nobody gets out of here.
Right.
You're either wounded or you're gone. It's a war of attrition.
Mm.
So you get attached to characters and then they're gone.
Mm.
And I thought that was a neat idea. And we actually got to shoot it in 2001, but then it was decided they were going to go in a different direction. But we actually shot the pilot.
Yeah.
And so it was 5 weeks in London on a muddy hill.
Sounds pretty good to me. You know,
Yeah, it was
anytime you're
fun.
traveling on a company's dime and doing something creative and producing a film or a TV show, it's always fun. And you feel like you've been invited to an exclusive party, which of course you have, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
without a doubt. Is that pilot streaming anywhere?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if it's legal to stream it because
Yeah.
it's CBS property.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the conundrum of doing a pilot. You can do a great pilot and then it disappears, it doesn't get picked up, and you're like, well, the pilot was great, just air that. I did a great pilot with CBS, I think it was, about a presidential candidate who's really the devil. And it was written by Roland Emmerich. And it was really shot in New York City. It was really wonderful. And considering the state of political times today, it was very, very
Yeah,
timely. But
yeah. What was
again,
it called?
it was
What
called
was it
Dark
called?
Horse. Dark Horse.
Dark Horse.
Yeah, and I've looked for it. I've looked for it. I've never seen it. But like I said, that's the conundrum of doing a pilot. It's a lot of fun. You pray it gets picked
Yeah.
up. Unfortunately, most don't. But
Yes.
it's still a cool party to attend. So, how often do you write? Do you write every day? Tell us a little bit about your writing now, because you've gone from the insanity of Hollywood to the sanity of Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. there's not a set routine. Sometimes I'll write 5 days in a row, and then 2 weeks will go by where I don't write anything, but I'm constantly thinking of things.
Mhm.
And then I'll feel the need to write. Sometimes I'll write on a computer. Sometimes I write in longhand. It's just whatever the feel of it is. So there really isn't a set pattern.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's true with a lot of writers. Some are very disciplined, get up at 5 in the morning and write till 1 o'clock every day, and then they close their tablet or whatever it might be. And others, whenever the feeling moves them, whatever inspires them. You mentioned which your favorite story was in this book. What do you think might resonate most with readers, particularly those who really love dark horror?
Um, the first one, The Killing Jar, is an interesting one. But I'd have to say the one called Avid Hunter, which is takes place in Wisconsin, up north in the woods, and it's hunting season, but it's not regular rifle season. It's muzzle loading season. So you're out there with flintlocks and guns where you have one shot, and then it's a whole process to load the
Yeah.
weapon again. And there's a werewolf out there.
You
So
don't want to be
if you
fumbling
go,
with the muzzle of your gun when a werewolf is out there, right?
yeah,
Ah,
yeah. So
Andy,
it
let me
has
put the
to.
bullet in the gun, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And they have to make their own ammo and stuff. So it feels like it's in the past,
Right.
but it's not. It's present day. And
Very
they're,
cool.
they're trapped.
Yeah. That sounds great. That sounds great. What's your favorite horror film? I mean, I love the genre too, but there's a lot of garbage out there.
Yes,
Um,
there is.
yeah,
I like to say it's the slashers are the stupid brother of horror. Um,
true.
my favorites, the original Alien, for a first time seeing it,
Yeah.
scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. You'd
It really
scream at
did.
parts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the original Omen with Gregory Peck.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Um, on the thriller side, I still like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane
Hmm.
with Betty Davis. That's a
Yep.
creepy story.
Getting fed
Um,
rats, as I recall, right?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
rats in the cellar.
Very, very cool.
But yeah,
I,
and
go ahead.
Platoon for me is like a horror movie.
Which one? Platoon?
Platoon,
Yeah, it is a
Oliver
horror
Stone's
movie.
son.
Yeah.
And I mean, that one I white knuckled through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And so I guess it'd be a thriller because it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I put that in the list.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that at a Times Square movie theater on the big screen and just being absolutely blown away by it. It is a powerful film. It's Charlie Sheen's best work, no doubt,
Yeah,
right?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, by far, by far. I'd have to put in my top favorites, of course, the original Exorcist.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
very, very scary still. And The Shining. I mean, primarily because of Jack Nicholson's performance, and it is quite creepy. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm a big Stephen King fan, and when I went and saw it, I was in college at the time, and it was interesting because the book was from a little kid's point of view, and the
Right.
movie was from Jack Nicholson's point of view, and it worked.
Yeah.
It it was a fun ride.
It's a great ride. It's interesting. I just saw an interview with Steven Spielberg, and when he first saw it, he didn't like it. He said he's watched it 50 times now and loves it. But when he first saw it, he thought that Jack's over the top performance was too over the top and it ruined it for him. But for me,
Oh,
that makes
okay.
it. Wonder. Yeah,
Wendy.
exactly.
Yeah, he was over the top, but I think it worked for that movie.
Yeah.
I really do.
Right, because he's a guy who's losing his mind in a deserted resort in the middle of nowhere. And he's
Yeah,
got this intimidated,
claustrophobia.
sheepish wife and a kid who is traumatized as well. It's a great, great, great film, no doubt. Any more twisted tales coming forth from you? What are you thinking about? What are you working on next?
Yeah, I'm working on another anthology to follow up this one but it's called Where Flies Go to Die.
Huh.
And the reason I got that title is we have dogs, so we leave the door open. Flies come in, and in my office, they end up dead on my windowsill. So my wife Pat went, "Why don't you call it Where Flies Go to Die?" That's it. That's the title.
There you go. I love it. Looking forward to that. And folks at home, you will love this book we've been talking about today. It's called Twisted Tales from the Insensitive and the Insane by W. Vogt. It's an unapologetically dark and terrifying collection for true fans of horror. If you're ready to face humanity's darkest corners, this anthology will take you there. And Hollywood, if you're listening, here's another great W. Vogt work of literature that is ready to be put on either the small screen or the big screen. Bill, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, Logan.
Real pleasure talking to you. I appreciate your insight, your wisdom, and your eloquence to the folks at home. I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.